got the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got a spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Greetings. It is Tuesday. Still on the honeymoon time here. Got a lot going on today. We got Marvin Miami coming up. Brian Siegler from the Boundary Corner. And Mike Burnham. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. That's Mark Hunley off of 155 Walters Drive. Hit us up in the Professional Door Incorporated text line. That's 391-0788. They're up there by New River Community College in Dublin. Getting ready to start year number 39 in July. And we're going to have some cool stuff to talk about as we broadcast live from our Family Fencing Studios. Give them a call. Get a quote. Get your fence up. 540-200-8294. So lots of great guests as we roll into day two, being back from my excursion. Hope everybody's good. A lot of times we get things right on this program. What's going on? Renuga? Renu? Got to get it right? Please subscribe. So yesterday, did quite a bit of reaction, something I didn't get to react to when I was gone with the whole Brendan Sorsby situation. And wrote about it last week in the Patriot. And we talked about yesterday, will anybody do the right thing? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Renuga. Will anybody do the right thing? Will anybody finally be an adult in the room? And sure enough, guess who the adult in the room ironically ended up being? Brendan Sorsby. Because Brendan Sorsby said that he is no longer going to be a participant on the Texas Tech football team. How about that? It was very, very interesting to see it all come down the way that it did. But Sorsby is out. This whole thing went to a huge head yesterday as we were getting off the air. I guess about a half hour between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. It said we found out that the Big 12 as a conference decided to go and sue Texas Tech. And I think that got them reeling a little bit. And I'm sure they may have gotten some wind of it on Sunday. But a loss. Sorsby, I guess, reaffirmed his status Sunday night. Ross Dellinger has a good piece about it from Yahoo Sports. There's not a lot of great sports writers anymore, not a lot of things that's done without an agenda. But there were a lot of folks involved in this, and Texas Tech finally going to be able to shed themselves of a problem. As this happened late yesterday, as Dellinger writes, again, you can read this article on Yahoo Sports. We always give credit here. Along with a lot of the NCAA Division I conference commissioners ahead of their annual 3-day meetings, along with Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, the Sorsby situation ended as with the threat of the lawsuit. Sorsby is going to enter the supplemental draft. He will not get taken in the supplemental draft. But after the Big 12 suit, this thing kind of came out of left field, to be honest with you, for Texas Tech. And Sorsby has decided that he's no longer going to be eligible to play college football. He's taking himself out of the game. Things kept mounting as the day went on against Sorsby's plans to play. There were attorney generals from Kansas and Utah getting involved. This whole thing just became so nasty. What's up, Chris Lester? Good to see you, brother. And his decision to apply for the NFL supplemental draft ends one of the most gripping, one-sided fiascos in the modern history of college athletics. Dellinger said it just right. A 4-month affair that began with the NCAA investigation earlier this spring. And now Sorsby says he's done. He thanked all the support at Texas Tech. And his decision came 24 hours after they got word about the lawsuit. So, common sense. I'm going to write about it this week, I think. We've been looking for common sense in sports all the way down the line for a long time now. And this is finally something that's happened that has common sense. And maybe now, maybe that will supply common sense elsewhere. I don't know. But we don't get much of it right now in college athletics. This is a good thing. Sorsby's got a lot of issues to work out personally. As Coach Elmo said yesterday and said it well, I mean, it is an acute addiction, gambling. And it can lead to a lot of horrible things, a lot of decisions in life if you lose money. I mean, there's so many stories of folks taking their own lives because they've lost everything. You don't want Sorsby to go down that road. He does not belong playing football in any way, shape, or form. And it just needed to go away. He needed to immediately say, I'm out, instead of trying to act like he was entitled at first. But sometimes the decisions come when there's no other options. And I think that's what Sorsby ran into. He did, Chris. All he had to do, correct. All he had to do is just say, you know what? I need to get fixed. This is what I've done. And, this isn't just on Texas Tech. What happened to Cincinnati? They knew what was going on. Indiana knew what was going on. This was before Signetti. So it's not all on Texas Tech, although their brass looks really, really bad. Really, really bad. I am Morris from the Tar Heel, Ball Diamond in Chapel Hill to Schwab Field in Omaha. Us college baseball fans need alcohol to stay up that late. And maybe even more Adderall. Go Heels and ACC. BDST is a lot, people. We are. And we have a Japanese viewer. Hey, how are you? Good morning. I hope that's not dirty stuff. I don't know whether it is or not. Thank you. Thank you. We love you. Please subscribe. We have one other Japanese subscriber, by the way. We do. So anyway, your thoughts on the Sorsby situation? It's kind of like this big relief, man. It bummed me out just the more I thought about how this was even being fought for. And I went off about it yesterday, and I know I took up a lot of time on it, but I felt like I had to, What's up, Young Def? How are you? Subscribe, like, and share. But, Coach Elmo made some good points. And I don't know what's going to happen. Probably nothing will happen now at Texas Tech. They did kind of reveal themselves a little bit. The way they tried to just completely just support this and ignore the bigger issue here. And I'm not sure a lot of schools would have done what Texas Tech did. I really don't. So it comes to an end. The kid ended it. I think he realized it wasn't going to work out. The lawsuit would have prevented it. We knew something was going to get in there, and we touched on it yesterday. And now we can get rid of this and then focus on other things that are going on in college athletics and the football season that's coming up. So there you go. It feels like you just ripped a big, burden right off your shoulders a little bit. Even if you're not directly involved in Texas Tech, if we love college football, which we do, obviously, all of us, it just feels, thank goodness. Now, look, it's not going to take care of all the problems. I mentioned it. Gambling's going on. Guys are cheating every day. It's going to happen. To what degree, we don't know. But this one was the most celebrated in terms of just publicity, countrywide publicity. Celebrated is not the right word, but, it got the most publicity of all of it because he made so much money. And Texas Tech has initially said yesterday they're not going to take the money away that he's received, which is interesting. But it's over, and there'll be a lot of reaction today because this happened later last night. So what's up, Morris? Again, you've been to the College World Series twice in 17 and 23. I have not done that, and I think I would really enjoy that. Yeah, I'd like to do that one time. I'd like to go to the College Baseball World Series one time. I would. I'm with you on that. That'd be fun. And I'm sure the atmosphere is great. It looks like it's great. It's fun at the ballpark. It's the last collegiate sport to end. And I remember out of the Big South when Coastal Carolina went all the way and won the national title. It was fun. Gilly and all those guys that pulling for them. It's a cool event. It's a cool event. And I think that when you look at all those things together, we grasp on to the things like the College World Series with so much other stuff going on. At least I do. We appreciate it more than more than ever. Tech, let's see here. Make sure I get all this right. So, Virginia Tech gets a former Notre Dame commitment yesterday. It was their first linebacker commitment in the 27 class, Amari Irvin. Now, Amari Irvin was committed to Notre Dame, and they landed another. So they've got 2 5-star linebackers coming in now. And I guess they told Irvin that he could look elsewhere, and it's cool that the first place he looked was James Franklin in Virginia Tech. To me, I think that says a lot. And you don't know if any of these guys are going to stick with their commitment. You don't know if they're going to develop. But I think this shows you how far the reputation of Franklin has come for this kid to be told by Notre Dame, look, we got a guy who we didn't think we were going to get that we wanted. And this is the kind of thing that goes on. And the first place, I don't know if it was the first place, but he ended up committing, giving a verbal to James Franklin. So that's good news. And I think even if we take out everything about the if he'll end up being on the field and being a good player, I think that shows you the status of where Franklin has brought this thing in a short amount of time. So I think that's good. That's good. It's Omaha signature event. Midwestern people are the best. I tell you, when I was in Nebraska watching Tech, me and Richie Davis, BDST legal counsel, he took me out 2000. What year was that, Richie? It was Tyrod. Is that 2004? If Richie's here. Is that right? Anyway. I think it was. It was a Saturday night game. Tyrod was the best player on the field. Nebraska fans, they were better that year. They were trying to come back. I believe it was the second game of that series, right? All right, Tech fan, what year was it that Tyrod beat the pass down the sideline? To beat Nebraska late. Anyway, Richie and I went to Omaha, and then he took me to the Broncos and Chiefs game. It was my first time at Arrowhead. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I agree with you. See, that's the attitude I take toward this. Notre Dame did not expect to get the 5-star kid. He committed yesterday. That gives them 2. They were full, and they told the kid, look, we don't necessarily have room now, and he goes to Tech. That would not have happened a year ago. That would not have happened a year ago. So for me, I don't know anything about the kid. I don't pay attention to star ratings. He's obviously a good player. And I hope he comes here, and I hope he kicks ass, and I hope he ends up being like a lot of the majority of these guys, being what everybody hopes they are. But I looked at – the first thing I said was, okay, now that's cool, because you didn't hear about any other schools get involved. You heard – where did he go after Notre Dame? Virginia Tech. See? And I think that's what, if anything right now, all these recruiting gets, that's what it tells me. The money is there, and Tech is a real player. 2008. Thanks, Richie. 2008. So, all right, Richie, Mr. Historian. By the way, I need to call you, Richie. Was that the game after? Was that the return game when Nebraska came to Lane Stadium? Or was that game 1? That was the return game, wasn't it? Because you remember when Tyrod hit the pass, he broke containment under pressure and hit, was it Danny Cole down the sideline? And then they scored the next play and beat Nebraska. at Lane Stadium. That was the one Bill Roth famously screamed, Tyrod did it, Mikey. Tyrod did it, Mikey. All right, so the one we saw was the first one. Okay. Thank you. Now I can continue the story. And Richie and I, we watched Tyrod do his thing after we met and hung out with Aaron Andrews. We hung out with Rush Limbaugh. Aaron Andrews was devastated she couldn't leave the stadium with me. And I'll have to show those pictures sometime. And Richie and I, Tech had won, and we were all like, wow, that was cool, man, what Tyrod had done. And we go out, we were parked, and we walking through all these Nebraska fans. Post-game tailgate. Well, you could tell the vibe inside. What is that, Memorial Stadium? Is that right? Whatever was really cool. People in the press box were very nice. We had press passes. That's when we saw Randy King. He had been out a little too late the night before. And Rich, you remember Randy King? he had his head down on the desk in front of him. But boy, when the game got ready to kick off, he was ready to go. Morris says, Richie, if you need another friend for a Tech road trip, I'm available. What's up, Prometheus, bringer of fire? What do you think, Prometheus? Married dude now. I hope your wife's doing well. Good morning. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, Prometheus. I'm going to get into it with Marva, too. We're going to talk about Wimby a little bit. But anyway, we walked through the crowd, and they were the most respectful, and I think Richie would back me up on this, complimentary fans. They just lost a tough game. They wanted that game badly to help them continue some momentum. They were trying to come back a little bit. Post Tom Osborne, which is not an easy act to follow, one of the greatest coaches ever. And Tech stole that game, and all they did was talk to us about Frank Beamer, Tyrod, and how they wish they could bring a program like that back into Lincoln. They offered us drinks, food, and we had to get, is that down the road? We had to get across the country to go watch the Chiefs Broncos the next morning. In Arrowhead. And I just remember those fans. There wasn't one negative word. There wasn't anybody trying to be negative toward Virginia Tech. They were just like, that's a very good football team. That's a program we wish we had. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. And it was really cool. Really cool. And for Tech to go in there on a Saturday night, I think that place holds 90,000? I don't know, 95,000. As loud as they are, I think that was a nationally televised game, pretty sure. And take their best shots and then find a way to win it in the fourth. It was beyond the peak maybe of Frank Beamer's program, but it was still consistently really good, top 10 top 15 It shows you what Virginia Tech was and what it could be again. Thanks, Prometheus. So that was a great night, a great experience as a sports dude to experience a fan base like that. And I don't think it's unlike Virginia Tech fans, to be honest with you. I think Virginia Tech fans, they talked about how great they are. I mean, you're coming off of struggling situation. What do you do against a team like Wofford? You put 62,000 inside that stadium at 11 a.m. It's insanity. In a good way, it's insanity. It's fan sanity. And I think they're going to have a lot to cheer for in 2026, which is where I'm focused right now. Thank you, Wayne. Wayne Cole caught the pass, and then Tech got in the end zone. Yeah. Tyrod got set. Yeah. Thank you. So I had my years mixed up. So we saw the first game, and then the next year was in Lane Stadium. And I think Nebraska was a little better that year, the next year. I mean, you can make the argument for me. Somebody asked me the other day, who's your all-time Virginia Tech football players? Going through eras, Cyrus Lawrence. I loved Cyrus Lawrence growing up. Used to go over and watch him with my dad and my uncle. Old number 45. Everybody remember Cyrus Lawrence? Roscoe Coles. Loved Cyrus Lawrence. But going through eras, I was a big fan of the walk-on. Remember the linebacker Ben Taylor? Remember him, number 40? John Engelberger. But when I really break it down in terms of guys, there's two guys that I've met during the media day. So two of the best people that I wanted to be successful was Tyrod and Brian Randall. Brian Randall, one of the most natural leaders that I've been around. Just what a terrific dude. And Tyrod was the exact same way. He would not remember me. I'd like to reach out to Tyrod at some point and get him on here. But we had great interviews. That was I had the first run of the show. Yeah, Kevin Jones, correct. Yep, absolutely. He was the number one recruit in the state. Is that right, Chris Lester? Wasn't he the number one recruit? And maybe one of the top 5 or 10 recruits in the country? Was that right? Something like that? Somebody remind me. He was up there, right? Kevin was up there. Yeah, there we go. Number one recruit in the country. I thought that was the case now. And you know what? He number one recruit in Pennsylvania. Okay, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Wayne. You know what? He lived up to it, man, and he's done a lot since then. That's a lot. He was really good. David Wilson. Thanks, Heath. Number one in the nation. That sounds right to me. Yeah. I love David Wilson. David Wilson set the single season rushing record, if I'm not mistaken. Am I just making that up? Wasn't that like 1,600 yards? David Wilson. Oh, Lord, he could fly. Love David Wilson. Jeez Louise. There were so many good players. Vince Hall, Xavier Deeby, two great guys who I got to interview a lot. Man, it was so different back then. And there haven't been any better since. Xavier Deeby and Vince Hall. Jeez Louise. I mean, come on, man. Bud Foster. Jeez Louise. Just unbelievable players. 1,709. I was close. How about that, Wayne? Until the Gator Bowl. That's right, Anthony, when they beat your Cards. Hearing good things about your Cardinals, though, man. People like your team coming up. Reaching out to Phil Steele here soon to get him back on the show. Was David Wilson the one who caught a live rabbit on the field? Did he? Probably. Kevin Jones was a great football player and better person. Yeah, you know what? Got to meet him a couple times. For a guy who has much height and pressure, he was very well grounded. 100%, Chris. He was. And I think about all these players we're talking about right now. Can you imagine the pay-for-play era? And how long would they have stayed? We talk about that a lot with the White Song with Michael Vick. And I don't have any hesitation. If you have a guy like Sorsby, who's ruined his entire football future by gambling, who allegedly made upwards of $6 million, Brendan Sorsby, can you imagine Mike Vick after that first season, that redshirt freshman season? Can you imagine? It would have been $10 million, right? I said that to somebody about 2 months ago, and they said, "No, that's crazy." Now they're like, "You know what? I think you're right." Right? USC, Florida State, Michigan, Ohio State, they would have come in and they would have went, "All right, what's it going to take? Here's what we're offering." I'll tell you another, Eddie Royal. Eddie Royal, and I'm not at all taking any credit for it, but now he's a fine broadcaster. But he used to come on, and you could just tell. He came on all the time. He said, "Hey, I'd like to come on. I'd like to learn how to do this, to talk, to do interviews and things." Eddie, and he was a Bronco too. Mike Shanahan loved Eddie Royal and drafted him, which made me happy. Broncos don't draft many Tech players, so when that happens, I'm pretty happy. That's true. Brandon Flowers started at quarterback for the Chiefs. I think he had a pick against the Broncos. Yeah, the Chiefs beat us. But hey, I got to hang out with Chiefs cheerleaders. Remember that, Richie? Oh, I better be quiet. I just got married. Shh. Keep that on the down low about the cheerleaders. Of course, that was years ago. Yeah, D'Angelo Hall, great NFL career. I mean, we're getting into it's easy to see the legacy, right? And that's what you hope to return to now at some point. If you can do that in this era. Yeah, that's going to be for around you guys when we do the bash. You're right. Cigar time. Remember the Key and Peele? They have so many. Skits that are memorable. Remember the one when they were both afraid of their wives and they didn't want to say the bitch word too loud? So good. So good. That's kind of what I just did with the whole Chiefs cheerleaders thing. Marv is going to join us. All right, we talked about family fencing and McClellan Chiropractic. Let me tell you about this. With the NRB Super Bowl, where we're going to have our bash, I want to make sure I get it right. Because I still try to get things right, other than just coming on here. They're going to have a 4th of July special, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., $20 for bowling lanes. an hour, or $10 in person. You get one game of bowling, one game of laser tag, and $5 in the arcade room. Hot dogs are just 75 cents from 11 to 7. So that's July 4th. I posted that on the Facebook page. So go, go, go. Thanks to the NRV Super Bowl 382-5520. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997. James is located at 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give him a call, 381-8011. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller as we continue to look forward to all the things to finish up 2026, the second half of 2026. Little River Heating and Air, Charles Lee, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. They're the best at what they do, 540-553-2971. The attorney, Ryan Pry. I guess we got the answer to our question. I had brought it up yesterday. Trust in estate planning, by the way. Hey, what would be the outcome with Brennan Sorsby? Would he play or would he not play? Well, we know he's not playing. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program, my exclusive banking partner. We saw those folks again yesterday. They are the best in the biz. No question. Go see them. If you're thinking about changing banks, trust them. ReadySetFund.com. That is Bob Christ, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Your organization, your school team, your church group, whatever it is, you can raise money and talk to the Floyd County Girls Softball Program. They raised $4,300 this past year, set a record. Sundown Electric is one of the most reputable businesses in our area down in Elliston. Nothing but 5-star reviews. They keep the costs down. They have some of the most critically acclaimed work around your home and your area that you can find. Check them out and give them a call today. Thanks to the Smith Brothers. Family Fencing, by the way. Get them out and do their thing. And Professional Door Incorporated, that's Travis Williams. Can't wait to talk about all the cool stuff we're going to be doing to help them celebrate 39 years in business. Jeez Louise. And, of course, Mark Hunley at McClellan Chiropractic. Macho Harris. Yeah, I like Macho too, Tebow. Macho was a good kid too. I can say kid now that I'm getting older. I know he's older now, but he's a good player. He was a good dude. Macho was a good dude. He had a really good sense of humor. Prometheus says, I talked to Ryan Williams last year, and he said Tech hasn't reached out to him since his left. That sucks. Why? He feels disrespected. Of course, his knees cost him an NFL career, right? So that guy was special. He was special, man. He was special. So I hate that. I think that's going to come back because it feels like of all the traits, and there's many different facets of James Franklin's personality, good and bad, but of all the traits that I think are positive toward a program, he really wants the legacy players to feel like they can come be part of it anytime. What's up, Harshal? Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Good to have you. It feels like to me that that's something that's going to gain momentum as we go forward. And I hate to hear that, Prometheus, about Ryan Williams. He was a guy that never really got a shot at the next level because he couldn't stay healthy. I mean, you talk about all these great players. Some highly recruited, some highly ranked, many that were developed by just an unbelievable coaching staff. We're never going to have a coaching staff like they put together, kind of low key, right? That developed in some of the best still to this day. They haven't had a better defensive line coach than Charlie Wiles and J.C. Price. The last J.C. was a throwback to Charlie Wiles. There's never going to be another Bud Foster. I know Brian Steinspring got a lot of criticism at times, but he was arguably the best recruiter. He and Jim Kavanaugh. It's different now. It's all about you're recruiting with money now. But in terms of making Virginia Tech a desirable place for young dudes to go to, you talk about an era, man. I know there's been a book written, but I don't know if there's been anything collected that truly garners the amazing just respect and awe of what Frank Beamer did. He walked into Dave Brain's office expecting to be fired. Expected to be fired. And Dave Brain said, you got another year. You got to make some changes. And how many times has Coach Elmo said it? The best non-decision that's ever been made. Dave Brain. Dave Brain. And the rest, as they say, and the rest is history. And that's the rest of the story. That Paul Harvey, right? Sorry. Thank you, everybody, on the Professional Door text line. A little over a weekend. Being married again is great. It's cool. Thank you. Yes, Emerald Island, go. It's an uncrowded beach. Go early in June. All sorts of age groups. Wonderful places to eat. The beaches are clean. The resorts are clean. I'm telling you. We had a great time. Pricing's fair. Every day, you know how you go and you go to places and you get jabbed about, oh, you want to rent some chairs, some umbrellas. Just here, sign them out every day. You can sign out your chairs and your umbrellas. Really? Yeah, it's part of your what you paid for. Wow. It's part of what we paid for. Yes, have some. I think I will. I will take that free chair and that free umbrella. Great stuff in chat. Keep it coming. And on the text line, as always. Joining us now on the program, there she is. Marva in Miami and her Carolina blue. And I know she's celebrating that baseball team. What's going on, Miss Marva?
Well, good morning, Rick. And yes, I am celebrating. Diamond Hills, Rick, are one win away.
Okay. I know you are. They've been by far the best team. They have.
Yes. But anything can happen. And waiting to see who they're going to play on Wednesday afternoon. Right now, you've got Troy and West Virginia playing this afternoon, and Carolina will face the winner of that game. So, excited, but a little bit nervous because there have been some moments during.
I know.
It's like, I know. Are they going to pull it out? But I've tried to reassure my friends. I have a text group. Look, guys, we're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine.
I've known Marva for about 25 years. And I'd like to say we're pretty close. That's about right? When did you start working for Ron?
When
was that? 2001.
Oh, wow. That was a long time ago.
See? I know, right? I started thinking about that. So then we started working together. So then Marva last week, we're so close. All right. I feel like I'm part of I feel like I'm part of her family. She reached out last Tuesday, wanted to be part of our honeymoon. I appreciated that, Marva. I said, you know what? We should have done that. We should have just made you part of the whole thing.
I was not invited, and I took it personally, but it's okay.
I know. It's okay. Well, you know what? The anniversary, we'll make sure you're part of the anniversary next year. How's that?
Great. So you had a wonderful time?
Yeah. I don't know. Are y'all a beach family? Do you like I know you're in Miami, so you're already at the beach.
Much as people might think, but yeah, we like the beach.
Well, if you ever want to go, and you're a North Carolina gal. By the way, you'd be proud of me. We did not leave the state of North Carolina the entire honeymoon.
Awesome.
So I was a Tar Heel.
Yes.
Emerald Isle was awesome. You would love it.
I hope you had some good barbecue.
You would love it.
There. Did you do that? Or just seafood?
Had good seafood a couple of nights, and we had, I think, maybe the best hamburger I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best hamburger.
We had barbecue when we got to Charlotte. It went to Heroes Con to finish up. So yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were close. We drove right by Chapel Hill's exit twice. I thought about you.
You didn't get off the exit
No, I didn't get off the exit, but I did wave. I said, "Hey, from Marva." You can ask the wife. She was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "That's Marva."
She doesn't know what to think. She doesn't know what to do. She's like, okay.
She just accepts it at this point. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Acceptance. That's the main thing.
Acceptance.
Accept you for who you are, and love you just the same, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Like you've done all these years of knowing me.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to win this thing, Marvin. I think you're going to have a national championship. I really do.
But, you just don't want to get too high, right? You want to keep your emotions in check. But yeah, it's been great. And I haven't even been able to watch every game because like last week, my daughter had her dress rehearsal and recital for dance, their big culmination of the end of the year and all these classes.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't able to watch everything. And so some things I volunteered. So I was a backstage mom there. So I could like take out my phone and just see how things were going and see how my friends were texting about things. So that was good. Sometimes it's kind of nerve-wracking to do it that way. But yeah, it's just been wonderful. And the team is great. I really believe in the team. I'm excited. I know Carolina can do this. But you've got it. Like I said, you can't get too high, Rick.
I know. It's baseball. I know.
Anything can happen.
But you've already beaten West Virginia. I just feel like it probably will be them. Maybe not. But either way, I think you're good to go. And then they'd have to beat you twice, right?
Yeah,
because you haven't lost.
No,
you're just not losing. You're just not losing.
I lost. Yeah. So it's like your emotions are so up and down and watching everything that's happening. And that last game was tied with West Virginia for a long time. And then
it was.
Yeah, sort of late in the game, Carolina broke wide open, and I was just like, yes, we can do this. But again, keeping it. Yeah, you don't want to get too high, Rick. I know everybody will be watching, and I hope
I will be. Yeah, absolutely, I will be.
Fans on the show, but you got to watch and you got to go for Carolina.
Oh, I'm pulling for them. I'm pulling for
the ACC, right? So if Carolina faces West Virginia again, I know you're not going to be pulling for those Mountaineers. So
I'm pulling for your heels. I am.
Yeah.
Now this will be their first one, right? If they win it,
yes, number one.
Well, that makes it even more special.
Yeah,
that's
it'd be very special. So good group. Excited, hoping for the best.
I know you watched the NBA Finals.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Rick, we talked about
and you'd be proud of me.
You actually watched the games.
I'm not going to become a Knicks fan, but I really like the way the Knicks play the game.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I love tough dudes no nonsense dudes that kind of go against the trends we've seen that's made, in my opinion, the league so soft and bad. Mm-hmm. And I got in to watch those. I tell you one thing,
they're
man.
Not soft.
Jalen Brunson, that kid, woo.
He's amazing. And I did not, I admit I listened to the national hype. The national hype was that, New York can't do it with Jalen Brunson. And this is where Wemby's just going to take over. He's going to take over the league and it's all this stuff. And so I thought they were right. And I was so glad they were wrong. I was so glad they were wrong.
Oh, they were wrong. All right.
They were wrong. And the way this Knicks team came out there and the way they fought back, like I was really impressed. That game where they came back from, 24 down.
I know.
And nobody thought they were going to win. Oh, this game is over.
That doesn't happen, right?
Yeah. It had not happened. They were in finals. And so I was watching and I was so tired that night, Rick. I thought about going to bed at halftime. But my daughter was actually up watching with me. And I said, Cairo, I'm going to watch the third quarter and see how they come out in the third quarter. If they have life in the third quarter, then I'll stay in with the duration. If they come out and they're flat, then I'll go to bed. And they came out and they were battling. And so I was so glad I stayed up and watched the whole thing, even though I was to bed so late that night. It was crazy, but it was worth it. It was worth it because it was good basketball. It was fun.
It was good basketball.
The NBA does change. So anytime, they get to the playoffs, it does change because people talk about the league soft and all this stuff. It changes. The level of defense changes. I mean, we saw some pretty rough fouls there on both sides in the finals. And I was kind of upset. I thought, Wemby was getting away with some stuff where he should have been, where he should have maybe faced some more, flagrant and all this stuff. But whatever, it didn't matter because it did not stop the Knicks. They were not intimidated. And it was a fun series. So I enjoyed that. And I would like to see what happens next. What happens going forward in the next season, because so many people thought, well, the East is weak. New York's not going to be able to do this. A lot of people didn't even think they were going to make it to the finals. And I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with Jalen Brunson and Carl Towns. And it was a good series.
Well-coached team, 53 years between titles. That's crazy to think about.
That's a crazy time. because there were so many people, they were not born, when they did this the last
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Like the Knicks, really? They were going to win a title? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, NBA's needed that market to be good for how long now? And they finally got it. Got it.
So I'm excited, and you have to know, like, the executives are excited, and it was a good finals. So, yay to the Knicks. I'm not like I said, not a Knicks fan. I'm not trying to jump on a bandwagon here because I'm not that type of person, but I was pulling for them.
Respect the way they play. And Brunson's a guy that I would take the time to watch again and again. I mean, he's a leader. He's a throwback. He's a throwback to our era is what he is, Marva.
And he's not afraid. He's not afraid. And, there's several times where he faced, rough foul treatment, and it doesn't matter. He just hops right back up. Let's go,
Yeah, that's right. There's a message here. Took 3 guys from Villanova to bring a championship back to New York. True. Took some Philly guys, some Pennsylvania guys to bring it back to New York. That's true.
Well, yeah. And, people were talking about that chemistry that they had from when they won a national championship.
You can see it.
And that matters, right? That matters.
It does matter.
They know they can trust each other on the court. And it was
100%.
a beautiful thing to see.
100%. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And just a few days ago, I was talking to my husband about how, my Canes also won. Yeah.
That's right. You Carolina, you made 2 titles here in the span of 48 hours. Congratulations.
Yeah. We were just joking about that. I am totally not into hockey, but I know you're not. I was glad to see that they won, right? I didn't watch a minute of it because it's just not my sport. But again, glad to see that they won.
Love playoff hockey, especially. And they were good. They were the best team. And you know what I saw the other day? They only have 2 restricted free agents. They've got top picks this year and next year. They've got lots of cap room. I think Carolina is about ready to go on a run in the NHL. Watch out. I think they're going to go on a run here.
People tell me if I go see it in person that I would really enjoy it.
You
but
would.
It's hard to follow where the puck is. It's like, I don't know. I think they need to make it a neon color or something. It's hard for me to get into. But, maybe I will go down here and I'll watch Florida Panthers, see if I can get into it. But just on TV, I don't know. Just doesn't do it for me, Rick.
Your thoughts on Wemby? Because now, and it's not just because he lost, all right? I know he's still young, all right?
But he had some key problems down the stretch. Like those missed free throws in the final. I don't know what was going on with him, but I'm not going to come down on him too hard, Rick, because, again, he's new. He's very young. He's new. He's going to get better, right? He's going to get better.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you. Do you think it's early, and it's going to come down. We're not questioning his physical skill, and he's so tall. I mean, he's got some advantages. Do you think he's going to develop what it takes to be a championship player? Now, that's going to be up to him.
Right.
And I don't know. He's a Frenchman. He comes from, I wonder, is his mind, he's had everything he's ever wanted since he was 16. He's been rich since he was a mid-teenager. We'll see if he can take the next step.
Wants it. I think he does want it. And I don't know if maybe the moment was too big for him because he did. He made some key errors, very obvious big mistakes that everybody saw. This is a big stage. And I feel like maybe he just wasn't quite ready for it. And he's going to develop. And we've seen it with a lot of great players. The first time they go, it can be difficult for them to figure everything out. And it takes a little time.
It does.
So I still think he will get there. I think he needs a little more help.
Weight.
A little more weight. He needs to get in the weight room. He is thin. He's tall.
Real
he's got
thin.
Incredible wingspan, but he's light. And so he's got to get in that weight room and get stronger, get tougher. And I think he's got to work on also his mental toughness because those things like those missed free throws towards the end of the game and key moments, that's mental, right? I mean, he's been taking free throw shots since how old? He was probably, 10 or whatever, or younger.
Well, yeah, he got fouled all the time.
Yeah. So he's got to get that mental toughness and he's got to work on his physicality a little bit. But I think he'll be there. I don't think he's going to be a bust or anything like that. I mean,
I don't think that. No, I don't think that.
He just needs to work on that. And I'm sure he's going to work on it. I feel like he wants it. And I know you said he's, been rich. I don't think it's not about money. It's about, he wants to be on top. And he was criticized because, I don't remember exactly when this happened during the finals. Sometime like they lost a key game and he was crying about this and people were calling him soft. And I I didn't mind to see the tears because to me it said he cares. He cares a lot about this.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think he will get there. It's just now he sees what it takes, right? Now he can go back, and he strikes me as the type of person who's going to go back. He's going to watch film of these games, and he's going to see, look at these key mistakes. What was I thinking? How do I get better? And I think he's going to work on it and do it.
Well, I think what Chris is saying is true. The coaching was terrible. Double-digit leads, as another poster said. There was a lot of they don't have the things in place there to be a championship team, and he's going to get all the attention, obviously, one way or the other. But the coaching was terrible. The Knicks coaching staff just coached circles
around them. Yes. Like, they were up. So that game, they never should have lost that game when they were up to. They never should have lost that game. They, they were so successful in the first half with all these threes, and it was great. But in the second half, they were not falling, but they're still throwing them up. And that's what allowed the Knicks to get back into this game. Why were they doing that? I mean, they have Wemby there. Like, why were they doing that? So, yeah, they need better coaching. And I don't know, are they going to – your team had so much success making it to the finals when a lot of people thought they weren't. A lot of people thought they weren't going to get past OKC. Are you going to make a coaching change at this point? I mean, how serious are you about winning? I think they should seriously consider it. I feel like their coach just was as you said, out-coached.
Well, look at your new coach at Carolina, right? Coach Malone. He won a title, couldn't get him back, and then they looked at him and said, well, you're not the guy, and now Carolina's bringing him in. Right, and they got rid of him after the winning a title. So I'm thinking you might be onto something. They might have to go, what are we
not afraid to do that?
No, they don't care.
They don't care. We'll see what happens there, but I do think he needs better coaching. But I just feel like he's the type of guy who soaks in a lot of stuff. He's going to take this in and he's going to learn from this experience that you can't do that. You can't, some of the things he did down the stretch, you simply cannot do because they cost you games. And in the end, they cost you a series. They cost you a championship. I'm not putting it all on him because that's not fair, but there were some key errors. And I just think he's a smart guy. I think he will learn from it.
Well, we'll see. I keep thinking back, and I know it's a different sport, but all I heard in 1984 when Dan Marino got blown out of the Super Bowl by the 49ers was, he's so great. He's going to get back here many times and win many rings. Well, guess how many times he got back to the Super Bowl? 0. Yeah, I'm not saying that'll happen to Wemby, but with all the hype, I'm thinking, let's don't assume things here. As Prometheus is talking about with the CBA and the way contracts are structured, man, you can't keep teams together like you used to.
Yeah. So. It's not smart to make these assumptions because, we also know from the history of the NBA, we have some wonderful players who play in the NBA, great players, all-time players who did not get to win a championship. And now he could be in that camp. I mean, I certainly don't wish that on him, but he could be. It happens. And so you can't. That's why when you get in these things, you've got to give it everything you've got.
Got to win it. I know.
You don't know and that's for really every sport. I mean, that's every sport. You don't know if you're going to get back there again.
While your heels got to take care of business.
Yes, take care of business
tomorrow.
Take care of business because an injury could happen. Those big guys, a lot of times they start having problems with their feet and just you never know what's going to happen. So I hope for the best for him. He seems like a nice guy.
I know.
I hope he can do it, but again, nothing is guaranteed, right?
Yao Ming. I'm a Rockets guy, and Yao Ming, of course, had some foot issues growing up. He grew so fast, and Shaq had so much respect. They have a great friendship. They had so many great battles. And he talked about one of the tragedies of his career was watching Yao Ming's feet fail him to where he had to retire in his prime, getting close to his prime. And you hope that's not anything at all. I don't think that'll happen to him. He's built differently, but you never know. You're right. Being 7'5" is 7'5". I mean,
It's not easy for those of us who are tall, Rick. So
I know you walk around all day with these issues.
Yeah. People don't understand.
In your 6'3" frame. I know.
It's difficult. But yeah, I feel for him, and you're right. He is built differently. He is a thinner guy. He's not as big as those guys. Definitely not as nowhere near as big as Shaq or Yao Ming. And maybe that will be to his advantage. That we there's certain things he can do that they never did because the game has changed, but also because of his body type, has a little bit different style out there. So I do want him to put on some pounds, but not too many. I don't want him to take it to an extreme, but I think that would help him in these like late season battles. if he can make it back there again.
Yeah, he's going to have to make his body stronger, and we'll see. We'll see if they can get back and what that organization does. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very,
and
very
he's still a young guy. He got there, but he's still a young guy. So he's still growing into the player he's going to be.
Right. It's up to his will to win and how great he wants to be at this point, I think. And that's what we're going to find out about, his generation of athlete superstar. How does it parlay itself down the road? We shall see. We shall see. Yeah.
I think maybe getting like a key player there with him, like, some sort of a veteran player.
100%. 100%.
Who's someone who's been successful, who knows the ropes, who can show him. That's always beneficial because you want to have good coaching, but also who else is in there in that locker room? Who is in his ear? Who's talking to him, trying to get him ready for these things, telling him things to watch out for, and things of that nature. So I hope they will bring in a veteran there with him to help. And I don't know who that person is, but I know out there, right? There's somebody out there that could make a big difference.
I would think so. It could go what you're talking about. They may look at that and go, it might have to be at the head coaching spot. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they need, is that veteran presence.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be but they need somebody who can back him up and kind of protect him on the floor a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Because New York wasn't afraid of him and they were giving it to him.
They were not at all.
Yeah, not afraid of him. No. So, and people, other teams in the league, they're watching, they saw this. They're going to take that when they go up against him and keep it in mind. And I think he's going to be successful, but whether he gets there again, as you said, who knows?
Who knows? We don't know.
An enforcer. Yeah.
An enforcer. They need an enforcer. They do.
It's interesting you talk about that because that was something the teams used to have, and you think
every one of them.
Charles Oakley, and you didn't want to mess with him, right?
My Rockets, the years they had Otis Thorpe. He wasn't necessarily an enforcer, but he was that guy that the power forward. Yeah, he was that tough guy. Yeah,
and who is kind of protecting the superstar. So the superstar doesn't have to get into this skirmish. Look, you do something, I'm going to be in your face, and I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to, you need that. Yeah. Don't like it. The NBA doesn't like talk about it. We're a kinder, gentler league, but come on, you play out. You need that person.
Right, exactly. You got to have it. Well, we'll see what happens going forward, and kudos to the Knicks and their fans.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And kudos to you, Marv. It's always great to see your shining, happy face. It always makes me happy.
Thank you. And guys, we need you guys. This is game Wednesday, 2:00.
I'm with you. I'm going to be sending you texts. I think you got this. I do. I think it's going to be a lot of Carolina Blues celebration, and I think it'll probably happen Wednesday night.
Well, I hope so.
Now, if not, I can't imagine you going into Thursday. Ooh.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. But really, I need the guy. I need all the peeps watching to support, to get behind Carolina. I know I got a lot of Tech fan. Tech. If it were Tech, I would be pulling for Tech. Okay.
You would. You're on. Yes, you would. You would be. You would be. You think Belichick and what's her name's going to be there?
I don't know. But interestingly enough, when Roy Williams was coaching, he often, if Carolina,
he would go. He would travel.
He would be there. He often would support other sports, not just basketball and not just like football. He would support baseball. He would support some of the women's sports, field hockey, whatever. They're doing well, he would support it because he's like Carolina guy through and through. And so I doubt Belichick is doing that. And I'm not going to criticize him for it. I hope he is getting ready for this season. I'm not going to, I don't want him out in Omaha, please. I hope you are getting ready for this season so it will not be another embarrassment like last year. So I'm not going to criticize him for it, Rick, for not being there.
You know what my Carolina claim to fame is, don't you?
No, what's that?
I got to see Roy Williams in his boxer shorts.
Should I even ask?
True story. That's
a true story. Here? How did this happen?
Yeah, well, we were playing down at Carolina. And Roy was, always gracious with pregame interviews. He got there a little late because he'd been hanging out with his grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And he got there and we were waiting. He goes, oh, my goodness, he come. You know how Roy was. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I got held up. Come on up here to my office. Come on up here to the office. I got to get ready. We'll knock it out up here. And then we were like, Neil was with me. We were like, oh, sure. Yeah. Go right to your office.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat down in the office and he starts changing his clothes.
Well,
I'm getting the recorder ready. And then we look over, and there go the pants. You know, we're like, hey, Phil, that's pretty cool. And he gets his pants on. He's got his Carolina t-shirt underneath. Mm-hmm. He sits down. Hey, guys, what's going on? And he does the interview. I'm like, hey, we just got to hang out with Roy Williams in his underwear.
Awesome. That sounds just like him. Just a gracious guy. Gracious guy, wants to help, whatever you guys need for the show. So, yeah.
And then they went out and beat us by 30, but that's okay. It's fine.
But he was nice to you at the beginning.
He was great. Yeah. Roy was great.
Good guy.
Good guy. He is. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. We're pulling for you. I know I'm pulling for you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All of you. Again, it's right in the middle of the workday for most people. So, like I said, you can watch online. Nobody has to know.
No, just skip out. Just skip out of town. That's right.
Or just take a half day, right?
It's a championship. Come on.
I need to be off.
That's right. That's right. For Marva. It's Marva. Yeah. It's Marva Day. And everybody will go, oh, okay. All right. Well, then in that case, you're good.
So, again, the boss may just say we're shutting down anyway,
That's true. Yeah. They might just, no doubt. there might be 2 holidays this week, right? Yeah. It might become,
real quick. We are going to go see the Marlins on Friday. Friday, Juneteenth, they're having a special promotion. They're going to be giving out Jackie Robinson jerseys, Marlins Jackie Robinson jerseys. So we hope we can snag some of those.
On Friday?
Yeah. So we hope we can snag some of those, and we're excited about going. So also pull for the Marlins on Friday.
Very cool. Very cool.
Whole family. We're going to have a great time, I'm sure.
Oh, well, you got to get some good video there.
Yeah.
You got to get some good video. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, have fun at that. I know you will. And, I'm going to go ahead and say congratulations on your college.
Oh, no, don't.
Oh, sorry.
Don't say that.
Sorry. Okay,
You're going to jinx us, Rick. Don't say
that.
No. Good luck. Good luck. No. Yeah.
Well, good luck. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know it's going to be hard to win, and you may not, but I'm going to go the other way now. But best of luck in that underdog role.
Yeah.
You guys have.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. Who knows what's going to happen? Nobody.
Well, be good. Have fun.
Thank you. You too.
All right. My best to the fam. Tell the fam I said hello.
My best to the new wife.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going good. It's good. It's cool. And I want footage. If you take footage on Friday, I want to see it.
Okay, I will.
That's cool. Yeah. All right. Be good.
You too. See you later.
Good to see Marva again. Miss Marva, we were. Strawberries are in season, Wayne says this year. Marva, George should approve and help Bill. You imagine if they caught up, if he went to the championship and they caught up to him. I'm a little out of my element here. Jordan wanted to travel. Apparently there was a Ferris wheel and a roller coaster she wanted to ride. There's a state fair a couple of counties away. So we got finished with that and we decided to come over here and watch what a championship program actually could look like here in North Carolina. I love the smell of strawberries. Actual footage from Bill Belichick. Good stuff from Marva. I hope they win. More for me, I want them to win for Marva. She's a real one. She's a real fan. This isn't like hopping on. Chris Lester says 40 minutes, guys leaning on you is exhausting. Yeah, especially at that size too, Chris. I'm with you. I got Jordan a new Barbie to help keep her occupied. I guess they're still together. Maybe they've just understood that staying out of the constant pictorial paparazzi, whatever, is there in everybody's best interest. Maybe. I hope. Brian Siegler going to join us here. I'm going to follow up with Brian a little bit about what we talked about. I think, Chris, was it you? Somebody said, Prometheus or Chris, that they talked about their legacy players at Virginia Tech that were their favorites. I'm going to talk to Brian about that. Remember, Marva, just believe. Just believe. Just believe. Yeah, enjoy baseball because football is going to be a train wreck. It kind of feels like it. Y'all remind me this week, I got to reach out to Phil Steele. I want to see how in the world he tries to put that magazine together in this day and age. It's done. I did see the release last week. They finally got everything, all the information, and they're hitting the printing press. So it's got to be more of a challenge for that guy every year now going forward. So I want to hear the new process of how he puts together the only college football preview magazine you should spend your money on. You're wasting your money on all this other crap. Just wait for the Phil Steele college football preview, and you'll be good. Oh, okay, cool. Well, we're going to get into that right now. There's that gentleman. He is Brian Siegler from the Boundary Corner podcast. It's been too long since I've been able to talk to Brian. What's going on, brother? Back from the honeymoon, ready to go, brother.
Rick, you look refreshed and ready to get at it, man.
I am. Back in the married game, as they say. So, yeah. It's good. Have you been to Emerald Isle?
I have not.
I'm telling you, man.
I need to take a trip.
I think if y'all are a beach family, it'd be worth it to go one time, see what you think.
Nice. We lean more towards mountains. We're like big mountains, hiking, and all that.
I know.
We're actually heading down to Gatlinburg this weekend. Gonna hit the Smokies, do some hiking, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it's gonna be fun.
Well, that's funny you say. We got back, and it was just like, the beach is great and all that, but it come back in the mountains. It felt like you're going on another vacation coming home because it is. It's a special vibe. It's a special vibe. It really is. Really is. All right. Well, what's been going on with you? What's going on with the Boundary Corner? Did you guys had a podcast? I think since we last talked.
We have not. We're actually.
You have not.
We're going. We're running this Wednesday. We got a full crew together.
Yay!
We're going to talk a lot of recruiting. It's going to be a good time. Everyone should show up, celebrate with us a little bit. Virginia Tech is on a very good recruiting run right now. So, the vibes are high. Brent Pry finally got one in the boat with Amari Irvin flipping from Notre Dame. So it's a good time to be a Hokie.
Well, he flipped. He was encouraged to flip, but
he was.
For me, this is my part of that. I'm glad you brought this up. It's a victory for a lot of reasons for Tech. For one thing, he didn't have any other schools. He said, I'm going to Tech then, right? So this shows you how far they've come very shortly under Franklin. Oh, yeah. And the money means it's there. That's why it's real, folks. This is how you get into the game because that's what this is all about. They didn't have the money to pay the other 2 5-stars and him, so Notre Dame was very gracious and said, listen, this isn't going to work. Let's get you back out there. And then, boom, he chooses Tech. It's a huge win for Tech. If it all works out. And I'm a little more wait and see now, especially more than ever on this 27. Everybody gets all excited. I get it. But I don't trust where we are in terms of roster development and all that. But the fact that he immediately said Tech tells me a whole lot about that this is all tangible about the money that's out there that Tech can offer these kids. It's great.
And it tells you the type of relationships that they're building with kids. I mean, I think he was committed back in November of last year. So this guy's been in the boat for Notre Dame for a while. But it sounds like they were already having some good conversations along the way and building that rapport. And it's nice that Virginia Tech is at the top of the list for a guy that is being politely pushed out of a class at Notre Dame. That that room just got filled up with higher caliber players pretty quick. Yeah.
And, they handled it the right way. Everything I read, they handled it the right way. Coach Freeman did it the right way. And then he was very appreciative, and there was Tech to take him. It says a lot where they are in 1 year. It really does. And I hope they get here, and I hope they develop, or at least a large part of them. All of them won't, but hopefully a large part of those guys will get here and develop like, everybody wants them to. But it says a lot. And, the things that we're seeing happening, somebody just talked about it. Yeah, I saw that too. James Franklin's going to get nearly a $200,000 office renovation before the start of the season. All these little things that he said you have to kind of build up and see, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But everything trending, like you said, in the right direction, right? Everything seems to be trending in the good direction. So
yeah, you got the new board going up. You got the LEDs going up in the stadium. You got the new coach's office. And when we talk about just the recruiting class in general, I think the big thing, you talked about, you got to develop, you got to make sure that you're hitting on them. You got a higher percentage of hitting when you're getting a lot more blue chip prospects in the building. So
yeah,
that's going to help. That's going to help big time. Because even if, development doesn't go quite the way you want for a handful of them, you got a whole lot more that it could go the right way. Right. So, when I talk with Sheldon all the time, he's like, blue chip ratio matters, man, because when you look at the teams that are doing it at a high level, I mean, you got, the exception that proves the rule with Indiana, but across the board, if you're playing in the college football playoff, you pretty much have a high blue chip ratio.
Yeah. And you got to keep them, and you got a whole senior year of high school left. Nobody's going to stop recruiting them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be curious to see how this develops, not just for Tech, but everywhere across the country. How many of these top 10 recruiting classes, and Tech's going to finish in the top 10, clearly. How many of those guys at commitments end up being on the roster 2 years later? I hope somebody does a study at these sites to see. I want to see how this new era, because I don't think it's going to change. There's nobody in charge to run the damn thing. We just saw that with Sorsby until he finally decided, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. They're going to let him play for gambling on the sport, for God's sake. Who's going to stop?
Yeah. Not only on the sport, on his own team.
Where were they at Cincinnati and Indiana? It's like everybody, and the Texas Tech looks like a bunch of morons. I can't believe the way they responded to this. But what about everywhere else? They knew he was doing it there too. It's just, but anyway.
Meanwhile, we kind of flushed a basketball year down the toilet because we had a situation from a previous school, and then you got Texas Tech just trying to let it ride.
That's right. Yeah, the guard, right? The kid that was coming over from Philly.
Temple Heiser.
Temple, yeah. He had to pull out because we don't want him anymore. We found out Tech did the right thing. You're right, and they just said, "Oh, we're going to fight this tooth and nail." So what if he gambled on? But anyway. So it's good stuff, and we'll see. I hope they do studies to see how many of these classes hold together over the 2-year haul. That's what I hope we see. But this is all you can do, though, right? Right now, he's doing everything you can do. All these, frankly, you got the money, you make the offers, you get the commitments. There's nothing else you can do now except try to nurture those relationships along for a whole year until they get to Blacksburg. So,
yeah, and I know we talked about it already, but the strategy in the portal, I think, also kind of works in tandem with what they're doing in this class, because most of those portal ads this year had at least 2 years of eligibility left. So while 2026, you want to go out there, you want to try to get, probably 8 games in your belt, 8 wins. But this roster building is looking, 2-3 years down the road as far as what the caliber of player top to bottom is going to look like for Virginia Tech. And that's what's got me excited, is that, I think we've certainly raised the floor significantly for 26, but I think 27 and 28 is when you really start to see what a Franklin team in Blacksburg could really look like.
Well, let me ask you this. I've been wanting to ask you this question because I thought about this, and I've talked to some people around. That means the cost of doing business is going to go up every year. Is Virginia Tech, the $75 million gift's going to be gone by then? Is Virginia Tech going to be able, you're looking at $60 million rosters is where we're going. We're not going to be talking about 30, 40. We're going to $60 million rosters. Do you think long-term Tech going to be able to keep up at that kind of money? Because it's happening. It's already happening. Texas Tech, there's already, I was told there are at least 20 schools that are going to have $60 million rosters this year.
Keeping up is going to be important, but I think you have a better chance of keeping up if you prove your proof of concept on the field and you start stacking some wins, because people will be a whole lot more willing to continue to invest at this level if they're seeing results.
Right.
So the results are going to matter. And I think when you're talking about long-term viability, that's what it's going to take. You can't go out there and win 6 or 7 games and expect another $50 million gift in a couple years. You know, you're going to have to consistently start stacking some wins. You know, at least get to a point where you're winning 8 games every year. You know, punch up, get 10 or 11 every now and again. You got to at least be showing that level of consistency in order to keep this thing moving forward. So that's really the big goal, I think, for Franklin is, you know, prove the proof of concept this year. You know, go out there, try to win 8 games, have a good showing. You got your class, you know, get them locked in at the end of the cycle. And then I think 27 is when you can go out there and start putting the ACC on notice a little bit. And if you can do that, I think the money will still continue to come in at the pace to keep up with the Blue Bloods. Probably not, but at a pace to still be competitive and potentially make the college football playoff. I think that's definitely a possibility.
I think they're going to be a factor in the ACC this year. People laugh at me. People are like, you're jumping. I really do. I think they're going to. All I know is I saw Virginia and Duke playing in an ACC championship game. I'm sitting there going, how in the world are either one of these teams playing in this game? And I think Ethan Grunkemeyer is going to be better than either one of the quarterbacks that played in that game. So I don't know, man. I think they're going to be a factor this year. I really do. I'm going to stand by that. I think they are.
Because you look at it, I mean, Florida State decided they were punting a year on making a change. So I don't think they're going to be a factor.
They're not.
Clemson's going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be great. Louisville's going to be good. I don't think they're going to be great.
Good. Yeah. Pitt. I hear a lot about Pitt.
Pitt could be good. SMU's going to have a solid roster. Again, none of these teams are going to be great, though. And I think that's the opportunity that James Franklin has at Virginia Tech is that you don't have to go out there and beat every single one of these other teams. You got to just punch up a couple times this year and take care of the business that you should take care of. I mean, Miami is Miami. Miami right now is the only dominant force in the ACC. Everyone else is just a dude.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Carolina and Duke, Wake, NC State, BC, Syracuse. Just no.
Clemson's got talent, but Clemson's got holes. Like there's a lot of opportunities out there for Virginia Tech.
Right. And Tebow's right. The lines have to develop. I'm very concerned about the offensive line. They haven't had a good one for a long time. I want to see that develop.
Yeah, this one could be better, but unfortunately in the spring they weren't as healthy as they wanted to be.
No.
Obviously you got Wilder coming in. You got a couple other guys that are coming back healthy now, heading into fall camp. So you got some potential there, but I don't think we feel as confident about that unit as we would like to. But I think it's going to be an improved unit this year, regardless. How much they improve is going to be, how we really gauge what the actual ceiling of the offense can be. Because I think, skill wise, I think we got really good skill players. Tight end, I mean, Luke Reynolds is a dude. I think running backs, we've got one of the best 1-2 punches in the entire conference at running back. Obviously, you've got Grunkemeyer coming over. He showed what he can do last year at Penn State. So it's really, if the offensive line can take a significant step forward, it's really going to be a potential good situation for Virginia Tech to be in, because I think the defense has solved a lot of the problems they had from a depth perspective. So I think they will hold up fine. If the offensive line can do their thing, this could be a pretty good team.
I'm excited about the kid out of Duke. I think he's going to be a great weapon for him in a lot of different ways in that offense. I don't know. And like you just hit it on the head for me. I go back to that every time, Brian, what you just said about Grunkemeyer. I watched him do it several times against really, really good team. Now, he struggled against that Iowa defense. Everybody does. Every quarterback does. It's really good. But he rebounded from that, had Indiana on the ropes. We watched him do it in what has been now the best league. They've won the last 3 titles. So he's already done it on the field. We're not guessing about the kind of quarterback he can be. We've already seen the kind of quarterback he can be. And now he's going to be a little further developed. And that's, if you have a good quarterback in college football, you are ahead of the curve.
Yep. And let's talk about the continuity, like still working with the same quarterback coach, still working in a very similar offense to what he had at Penn State. So, you're not going to see, I don't think you're going to see a drop off in terms of his development compared to what you'd have seen at Penn State. The question is, how big of a jump can he take from that year where he got out there, he got thrown into the fire, he showed that he could handle it. how big of a step can he take this year, with a little bit of a new cast of characters at those skill positions outside of Luke Reynolds.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, mention it to the guys tomorrow that I think tech's going to be a factor this year, and tell me how many people laugh at me, okay? Let me know.
You know what? I don't think it's outside the realm of imagination at this point. I mean, I think it's one of those things where if they can steal a couple that they probably shouldn't win, then all bets are off. You just got to take care of the other business. And I think that's one of the things, even historically, even going back to Beamer, that we've struggled with is that, we'll drop a game or two that we probably should have won, whether it's against an ECU, whether it's against a JMU, whether it's, we'd always have that one game that we look back on. It's like, well, if we'd have taken care of business there, we could have really had something. That NC State game back in 2004. I mean, there's so many instances you can point to in Virginia Tech history where it's like, if you just took care of one or two more things, you really could have put yourself in a different level at the end of the year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's why we can talk about it now, and you have to wait and watch it unfold as we go forward. But, hey, everybody's an expert now. We're all getting our stuff in now, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. All right. Well, you guys have a good time tomorrow night. Again, let people know where they can find it. I know it's all over the place, right?
It's all over the place. We're going to be live on X and YouTube. Go to YouTube, watch the video. It's fun to watch the video there. Get some comments in. It's at Boundary Corner VT on YouTube. We're at Boundary Corner on X, and we are. You can catch all the old episodes if you want to check those out at boundarycornervt.com.
All right. Folks will be watching. I know, brother. Good to have you, man. And take care. We'll talk again next week.
Appreciate it, Rick. Always a pleasure.
All right, man. All right, brother. Take care. There you go.
See you later.
Ryan Ziegler from the Boundary Corner Podcast. Good stuff. Good stuff. I know. I'm going to hear about it. I think when we got the official word about Grunkemeyer coming, that changed things for me. For me in this whole thing, that was the key. If they didn't get him, and, for a while there, it was assumed, and then it kind of got quiet and got weird, and I guess it was a silent thing for a long time. But I don't think the players behind him are great. I don't think Baker, I've heard so-so things on him. You don't want to ever trust a freshman. So he's going to be the key. O-line's got to be good, but Ethan Grunkemeyer is a real deal. He's coming into an offense he already knows. And you all have watched as much college football as I have. How many times do we sit there at the end of a game and go, well, their quarterback was just better. He made more plays. And how many times last year was the quarterback better every Saturday against Virginia Tech? And I'm not trying to pile on Kyron Drones. I respect how hard he played. He wanted to be good. He just wasn't. He wasn't good. But how many times did we look at quarterbacks and we went, they had no shot? All right, go through every game. South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Old Dominion, right off the bat. Goss Brent Pry's job. How many times did we talk about it after the Armageddon show with Dwight that whole next week? How in the world does Old Dominion get a quarterback that dynamic, and Virginia Tech hasn't had one since Justin Fuente's first 2 seasons? So now they seem to have that guy who knows this coach and this offense. And I'm just still going to say it. And when we get Phil Steele on, I'm going to ask him. I think that it's the most understated addition. Everybody's talking about 27 class and all this, but what about Ethan Grunkemeyer? I saw him hold up with a lot of poise for a young player. The Big Ten fronts are pretty good. Those coaches are really good. There's a lot of former NFL guys on those Big Ten coaching staffs, and they adjust. And I'm very excited for that. And I might end up being wrong. Maybe he comes in here and he doesn't Maybe he's leveled off. Maybe he doesn't get better. Look, I'm never afraid to be wrong. I don't care about being wrong. I'm just telling you you're going to ask me my opinion about something, I'm going to tell you. If we're right, we'll remind you we're right. If we're wrong, we'll say I was wrong. We were right about James Franklin being the new football coach in Blacksburg, weren't we? And I think Grunkemeyer is going to be an all ACC caliber quarterback. I really do. Now I want to see when he gets going and we get practice shots and we go out there, But I think he's a leader. I love the fact that he stayed quiet. We got great reports how he brought people together during spring. I think he's a low-key guy. He's not about himself. He's about the whole thing. He's got all the great things. I know Bud Foster said that at the Blacksburg Sports Club event. I'm going to remind when we get Coach on here, we're going to talk about that. And I know people will pile on me again, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Family Fencing, by the way, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294, growing business. They can help out the privacy of your home, get a quote. They do great work, all types of fencing, commercial, residential. Doesn't matter. The type of fencing doesn't matter. McClellan Chiropractic, it doesn't matter what kind of body ailment you have, especially your back, your shoulders, your hips, your legs, whatever. Let Mark take you through his amazing array of equipment. 155 Walters Drive, Mark, sponsor of our chat room. That is just huge every day. We're also huge every day because we are presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Thanks to all those wonderful people that are doing such a great job bringing Pulaski County to the forefront of not only local and regional status in sports business, but my goodness gracious, we are looking at the entire Southeast. They're building it up. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Charles Lee and Company, they are the best. The attorney Ryan Pry, he's the best at trust and estate planning, 701 West Main Street. Sponsor of our BDST Fan Question of the Week. National Bank, member FDIC. Saw all those great, wonderful, smiling, shiny, happy faces yesterday when I went down by the bank. They're the best. They're the exclusive banking partner of this program. They should be your banking partner. They've been mine for 35 years. Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors. He's taken his father's business to new heights regionally, nationally. 39 years in July. Can't wait to get into some of the great things they're going to be offering in year 39. ReadySetFun.com. Hut, hut, hut. Bob Christ, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Go talk to the Floyd County Girls Softball Program. $4,300 they raised through Ready, Set, Fun. Nothing but 5-star reviews for the Smith Brothers and Sundown Electric. They communicate almost hourly when they're doing a job. They keep you updated on the materials, keep the price down, craftsmanship. They are the best. Go by and see those wonderful folks. We've talked about the Super Bowl. They got a great July 4th special coming up. We're going to have our bash there in July. We're going to hone in on a date. Go see them, 540-382-5525. Every weekend is Midnight Madness, by the way, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. James Lawson Mobile Home Supply at 540-381-8011, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. And Top Shelf Apparel, they made these wonderful T-shirts. Brandon, they're one of the best printing places in our region. $20 if you want a T-shirt. Hit me up with that as well. Yeah. Is that everybody? Did we get everybody in? I think we did. For now. Yes, everybody on text, a couple people. Big Dog Pop was going to, I believe, debut Thursday night. Yeah. We'll have more information Wednesday and Thursday show. That is correct. That is going to happen. 100%. That is going to happen. And then all bets are off, and you can get directly involved. You send me your email through the text line. You can put it in chat if you want. I don't care. And You're going to be on screen with us. We're going to have fun. Talk about everything. Doesn't matter what it is. We're going to talk about it. I'm just going to let it roll, man. Hey, man. Mike Burnip coming up here in just a little bit. Brent Sorsby did the right thing. You know what? When you do a lot of bad things and somebody stands up and does the right thing, you kind of got to give them their credit. And he did that last night. He pulled out of the Texas Tech football program. If you haven't heard, he will not be available to play college football ever again because he's now making the choice. University announced after the Big 12 yesterday, shortly after we went off the air, about a half hour after we went off the air yesterday, Big 12 said we're going to sue Texas Tech. Schools were already saying, had already canceled games and other sports. All this thing was coming to a head. There was no way it was going to work. And Sorsby said, I'm not fighting this anymore. The school decided they were going to fight it continually. I think Texas Tech has a lot of folks that need to answer a lot of questions. We're talking about gambling on your own sport, on your own team's games. And yet here they were putting their entire reputation out there to fight this tooth and nail. And regardless of what you think of it, and technically they didn't do anything wrong, it tells you where their standards are just a little bit. This is the first school, by the way, on record to put out graphics last year. Hey, we just spent $45 million. Why are we in the college playoff? If you want to be in the college playoff, there's going to be more where that came from. That was literally their graphic. So this is a school that's got bigger fish to fry. That's fine. If they've got the resources, however they handle their business, I don't care. But when it comes down to trying to support a player who gambled on his own sport, you're wrong as wrong can be. The president, the AD, the coach, everybody was wrong. They reacted in the 100% wrong way. What you needed to come out and say is, look, we want him to get better. We support him. We brought him here. But we cannot validate him remaining as part of our athletic department and our football program, considering what he's done. And this wasn't an ambiguous thing ever of if he did it, right? Oh, they're doing some evidence digging to see if it's actually going to support. No, this is him saying, oh, yes, I bet several times this is what I was doing every morning before I got out of bed. I did this at Indiana. I did this at Cincinnati. I'm doing it now. Pretty easy case to solve. It would be a very short Dateline episode. Hey, it's Dateline night. It's about Sorsby. Oh, he's guilty. Okay, well, let's move it on. Flip it. Any Muppet Show reruns on? Yeah, I talked about that too, Chris, to your point. And he said that at our meetup, when I was moderating beside James Franklin. The best way I can say this, he does not like this football team right now. And I mean that in the best way possible. To me, I sat there and I followed up with a question about it. It was refreshing because you hear a lot of knob polishing from coaches this time of year. Right? Yeah, we really came out very impressed. Whatever it might be, you get a lot of coach speak. He got into some of that, and Bud Foster was first. I thought it was very telling what was said and what wasn't said at the Blacksburg Sports Club. You got to find some football players now. They got some guys that look good. He was talking about the defense, Bud was. Coach was like, let's see if they can get them into being football players. James Franklin, his own, I'm going to paraphrase, said, we've got a lot more talent. We saw a lot of good things in spring, but he goes, we're not even close to what we need to become. At any position, at any third of the game. And I thought to me, I'm like, all right, I like that. I like that. It's honest. It's against the grain of what you usually see and hear. I'm going to talk about this with Mike coming up. I like it. because that means that they're not going to sit back and just go, hey, yeah, we're going to be really good. Let's go into it, just assume this. I think he's got to make sure his coaching staff, and that's a question that I have. Maybe a lot of people don't. I have a lot of questions about the coaching staff. Mainly the two coordinators. I'm not sold on first-time offensive coordinator ever. And Brent Pry got fired from his job. Now, look, everybody's going to say, well, now he can focus on being the coordinator. He was still the coordinator of the defense that never looked any good during the time he was here. And I'm not trying to come down on it, but I'm just saying, show me that your defense is going to work here. Coach Foster made a point about what they were running and about the personnel, and I don't think he thinks it aligns. Now, he's not going to get involved. He's not going to stick his nose in where he doesn't belong. I want to see how this develops on that side of the ball. We'll see how these coaches come together. There's a lot of new ones. There's a lot of potential. Let's see how everything comes together from that standpoint, like it did back in Beamer's heyday. Whenever you've had good teams, you've had to have good coaching staffs with cohesion. And I'm not talking about recruiting. I'm talking about when they're here. Game planning, adjustments, development, depth, TV. Everybody talking about, you're right. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's see. But that's what this time of year is for. And that's what we have as fans. This is great conversations that we're having. I love this. I mean, it's like we're not saying one thing is going to happen or this is not going to happen. There's a lot of open possibilities to every season, right? It's a book that hasn't been opened yet. Matter of fact, it hasn't been penned yet. And every chapter, as you get closer, starts to come into clear focus. And then once, practice starts, you kind of get the introduction. Right. And then chapter 1, VMI. And then you just keep going and going and you see what it looks like. And that's what these coaches are doing, right? They're not assuming anything. They're not predicting anything. He was asked directly about, well, he wasn't asked directly. I was asking the questions, but he got into, people ask me all the time about how many wins. He goes, I'm not going to pigeonhole us that way. I don't look at it that way. Another good answer. He said, you know what, Rick? I get asked all the time, how many wins would he goes, I don't do that. I don't look at this team or any team like a certain marked number of wins. I liked it. That's true, Chris. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. VMI is the preface. Yeah, you're right. By a different person writing about that book. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, VMI doesn't count. Yeah, it counts, but it doesn't count. Yeah, you're right. The first important chapter will be chapter 2, I guess we'll say. Well, yeah, we're going to count that. We're going to keep that there, Chris. That's the preface. Chapter 1, Old Dominion. Chapter 2, Maryland. And chapter 2 is going to be interesting and exciting. That's the one for me. Chapter 2. Exactly, Tebow. And I think that's what James Franklin was reminding people. Talk is cheap. I'm not up here talking about this team yet. He goes, I don't know what we have. See, I just think that is honest. And I think that's cool. And I think it's refreshing. Now, I don't watch the press conferences across the country from these other coaches. Signetti's the same way. Just saying, you think about it, they were going through their title run. Still, we're not going to see anybody ever do what he's done in Indiana. It's not even, it's insanity what he's done in Indiana. But every week, he wasn't sure his team was what everybody thought they were. He talked about the little things they have to, and you can tell when they're saying it honestly, and you can tell when coaches are just saying it to get through the press conference. James Franklin's not going to say things just to get through the press conference. Cignetti doesn't say things just to get through the press conference. A lot of coaches do because they don't want to be there, but they take advantage to remind people. And I think a lot of these coaches use that as motivation for their team. They use that for motivation for their fans, and they want to get messages across to the opponent a little bit. I think it's very calculated, but not necessarily false information, but they kind of want to get some stuff out. And I think you're going to see James Franklin talk about this Tech team a little more confidently going into VMI week. But it is the first game. We're coming up in a couple months. And, everybody's got the same canvas before a season starts. And there's so much of a mess going on. How do you come out of that, too? Darius Nichols, who's now the head coach at LaSalle, talked about evolve or die, Rick, in this new era. And he said it, 4 years ago, knowing where this was headed. How you've evolved completely as a program, which is what Franklin's reminding people about every day. Office renovations, facility upgrades, money coming into the program, money to be able to go out and, hey, we've got it for you, man. Notre Dame said we're going to have to say so long. We're your place. Boom. No other choice. How you handle all those things is big. And it's a tough era, man. I don't envy any coaches today. I know they make a hell of a lot of money, and people are going to – and I understand that. But it's very tough, especially – let's talk about the coaches that don't make a lot of money, and high school coaches and youth league coaches who are volunteering. It's tough to be a coach in any sport today, given all the pressures and the parental involvement and politics and all the crap. But at that level, coaching is still very, very important, maybe more so than now in terms of you have to kind of parlay it a little bit. And I think the ones that understand this is now the professional model and can evolve or die into that as a collegiate coach are going to be the ones that consistently rise above this unbelievable, horrible environment we have with all this out of control spending. And it feels like James Franklin has already gotten into that. He's at a blue blood. He's a Big Ten. So he's already gotten acclimated to it. He was in the SEC, but at a place that was just trying to learn how to be a football program again. Vanderbilt used to be good, and they got bad for a lot of years. Tebow, you said it, and that's my whole thing, yeah. I think a lot of fans think guys are going to be good because of the name and the stars. And you said exactly, this is what I've been saying all along. I don't give a damn about any of that. How do they develop, and do they develop here? Everybody's get torn up over this 27 class. And I get it. I don't. And I get a lot of criticism. I hear about it all the time. Man, you're not playing up. No, I'm not. In this era, I'm not. I already hear things about some of these commitments that James Franklin's gotten. You think people have stopped recruiting them? So who gets here, who stays here, and who gives this staff a chance to develop them, like Todd Grantham talked about yesterday? That's going to be the key to your program. Yeah, on paper, right now, you've got guys who are verbally committed. It looks great, right? Oh, he's doing the depth thing just what he wants. But every program's dealing with this. Virginia, Kentucky, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, whomever, you throw one in there, Clemson. They all, okay, we got commitments. Now let's see if we can keep them through their final year of high school. Is there money? They haven't signed for money yet. Is there money asked? This is what's going on. that you're not going to hear about from 247 and all these sites. The money ask will change because it's happening in basketball all the time. Okay? Chris, you know this is true. Some of these guys have an idea of the money they're going to make. If they have a massive final year of high school, and all of a sudden their market starts to pick up, they're going to go back to the school they committed to and said, all right, well, listen, things have changed. I don't know how many coaches in our league lost guys. Yeah. Basketball guys, because their prices were raised and they simply priced themselves away from the school that they were committed to. So get them here and let's see how all that develops. See them wearing the Tech uniform, which I hope doesn't change from maroon helmet, maroon jersey, and white pant at home, and all white on the road. But I know it will. And get them here and get them into the program and get them on the field. And then you can feel good about it. So that's why now I'm just going to go. I think you have to just go year by year. I've already done this at Radford. You look at every team as that year. Darius Nichols, I talked to Darius last week. He congratulated me on my marriage. And he goes, Rick, this is all one. We're in this. This is year to year now. And there's not a coach. He said, there's not a college basketball coach in the country. And we're talking about basketball, but I think it is the same for football. He goes, there's not a college basketball coach in the country that is looking at their team beyond next season. Mike Young has said it how many times? Many. He goes, this is all. We got our 26-27 team we feel good about. This is where we are. And that's it. We worry about 27, 28 after. Donnie Lynn said this, didn't he? Head coach at Mount St. Mary's, coming off of an NCAA tournament appearance. And that's why I'm not ever going to be a guy going forward that's going to get like, yeah, look at all these recruits. Get them here. I hope it works out. I do. I hope everybody's right. I hope that would be awesome. But it's year by year, man. The reality of the market, the reality of what's going on, and what people are still trying to get rid of in their minds about the old ways of recruiting don't line up yet. And I said this on the show when we came back in 2020 on the radio. I said, all these sites are going to have to change the way they're going about looking at recruiting with what's happening. And then it was called NIL and meant NIL. You're going to have to look at the portal and look at that as your recruit. And that's what's happened. It's happened exactly the way I talked about it. Now these sites have portal rankings and all that. It's just, that's where it's flowing, man. And by the way, don't believe any numbers you see on any rosters. Don't believe any of this. Seeing like South Carolina released a graphic, $30 million roster. That's not even close to the amount of money they've spent on their roster. Anything you see that puts a hard number on a roster is a lie. I see all these guys on X. Here's the most. We talked about this during college basketball season. This is how much this school spent. You have no idea. You're just making it up. You're grabbing money. You're grabbing numbers right out of the air. Talking completely out of your ass because there's not any. No one's reporting what they're spending because they don't have to. No players are talking about it. Nobody knows. Even someone like Texas Tech who's bragging about it's probably underselling. Big Ten guy is the guy that tells me exactly what's happening. And if you think that half of the Big Ten isn't spending $50 million this year on their roster, you're wrong. They are. So all these numbers you see and what it's going to take. That's why I asked Brian that question about Tech position going forward. You see all these low ball numbers. This is kind of like when you see people who are shills for movie studios like Disney and so forth. We're going to talk about this on Big Dog Pop, trying to say that this budget was only that. They ignore the fact that in the movie theater, you only keep half of the ticket revenue. The rest of it goes to the studio and the theater and all that. Then there's marketing that's usually at $100 to $150 million on top of the budget. So a movie has to make over twice what it cost in total just to break even. And then people try to tell you it only needs to make this and that. It's not true. You have to make at least twice as much. And the marketing budget's always a lie. It's always a lie. So what I'm saying is don't buy into any of those numbers because they're not real. South Carolina tells you 30 million in the SEC. Really? Come on. I tell you what, I'm going to say this. If that were true, if South Carolina's graphic was remotely true, then they're not trying to win. In the SEC, if you're only spending $30 million, you're not trying to win. So come on. I don't know why you released that number, but it's not accurate. I'd say it's double that number. Maybe you don't want people to know how much money it takes now. Maybe you're doing that for your donors. I don't know. Had to be a reason for it, but it's not accurate. Remember, Big Ten guy told me there's going to be 20 $50 million rosters that he knows of in 2026. And Kurt and Kevin and people that are sending me messages on the text line, no, it's not going to end anytime soon. This is where we are, and we're going to be here for a long time. We're going to be here for a long time. Correct. By the way, I want to show you a picture here. I took this picture. Vandy spent $20 million last year. Okay. Look at that. That's me with my moon pie down at the beach, but I did not eat the moon pie because I told you I was going to do that on the show. I had one. I said, nope, I'm not going to do that. And I didn't want to buy that one because I guess I can find them anywhere. But they had a moon pie display out, and I decided not to eat it. I said, no, I'm going to wait and do it on the air, like I said. Maybe I'll do that on Big Dog Pop on Thursday. Maybe I'll eat the moon pie on Thursday. Oh. Yeah, Thursday. That's what we'll do. We'll do that. We'll do that. I'll have my Diet Pepsi and my moon pie Thursday on the debut of Big Dog Pop. That's what I'm going to do. But it's a great conversation. Good stuff all the way around. And thanks again to everybody. I meant that. I heard from people all day yesterday, and it meant a lot. I mean, all day on the text line, on DMing me about the marriage and the wedding. Thank you. It meant a lot. It meant a lot. And we do have a nice family here on the program. And I'm not constantly going to talk about it. You know, I wanted to talk about it yesterday coming off the honeymoon and everything. So I do appreciate it. It meant a lot. No, I did not have any Bigfoot sightings. Not at the beach. Unless he's out there on a surfboard. Yeah. No Bigfoot sightings for previous. By the way, I'm still waiting for the Capturing Bigfoot documentary. We're going to get into that on Thursday too. You don't want to miss Thursday night. All right, joining us now on the program. He is he is Virginia Tech. He's that guy, Mike Burnip, the Hall of Famer. What's up, number 81? How you doing?
What's up there, Rick? How are you? Congratulations. And now you got to rehash it just for a minute with me.
Okay, that's fine. I haven't talked to you about it.
How was everything?
Well, first of all, my friend, Emerald Isle is outstanding. If you ever decide you want to go on a short beach trip, it's not overly crowded. It is clean as a whistle. It's a south-facing view. It had all different types of demographics of people and everything, but it wasn't overcrowded. It's a resort area. There's no hotels on the beach, so you can just look out and see. It's food. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Did you get some tuna tips or alligator bites?
It was so funny. The last night I went to this really cool place. I wish I could remember the name of it. I'll have to figure it out, let people know. It reminded me of some places out in San Diego. And they had alligator. Anyway, I got up there to order. They were out. They ran out. And I was so excited. And I got there and they said, we ran out about an hour ago. Okay.
That's what happens. They're popular.
That's what they said. They said we run out about every week. And I said, we'll get more. So no, I didn't have any. But it was great, man. It was great. I strongly recommend it if people want to get away. A little different type of beach experience. If you get tired of going down to the same, parts of South Carolina, it's really nice. Really
and the weather was good?
Weather was good. We had sun every day. No rain. And it wasn't too hot. I mean, it was really good. It was really good. So, but you're used to the beach down in Florida, but it was nice if you ever want to go.
Oh, I've heard it's beautiful there. I really have. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Hey, I have one question for you. Did Marty and Rag show up?
No, they did not.
Daggone, I'm disappointed.
That would have been great. Yeah, there they are. Come on over, guys.
Showtime.
Yeah, let's just do a show. Honey, I'll get back to you a little bit later. Well, we got a lot going on. More good news on recruiting. They get, yesterday was one of those things that you don't see a lot of great things, Mike, about, where we are now with roster makeup, but Notre Dame talked to this kid and said, look, we got a guy coming in and we don't think that it's going to work out for you now here, and what's the first place he goes? Virginia Tech. And I think it says a lot about how far James Franklin's brought this thing in a short amount of time, to where his only choice after Notre Dame kind of said, see ya, was Virginia Tech. And now Tech's getting their first linebacker commit. And it just kind of shows you the status of where they are right now. I thought it was very impressive.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's made great in-house relationships with these kids and these families. And it's showing up on the recruiting trail, because that class is moving up, seemed like every week. It moves up a little bit higher in the rankings, and that's a good get. And that's what happened, Ricks, when you got all these kids that come on campus and they commit, and then it's like you don't have space for some of them, and it's like somebody's gonna get left out, and that's going to happen. And you just hope that all these kids, it's going to make for one thing. That's great competition, and the key is going to be, can you keep them, at least the ones that you want, because you got all these high profile kids that are coming in. And you got to be able to keep them to make that depth. They need depth, and some kids are good for that. And some kids say, nope, I don't want to be second or third. I want to play somewhere else. And that's going to be a key moving forward. But gosh, it's been great so far.
Well, it is. And something else I like too, Mike, going back to when I got to spend a little time with Coach Franklin, was he's not happy with the roster. Right. And what I mean by that is he likes the progress. He likes the team he has, but he's like, we're not a football team, and Coach Foster kind of made the same reference at the sports club that night. We got to find some football players now. To me, that's refreshing. I like to hear that. We get so much coach speak. Oh yeah. But he didn't say that, folks. He goes, folks, what you saw in the spring is not going to be anything what we need to look like in August. And I love that. And I like that kind of transparency from a coach.
Yeah, it's true. And that's the thing. And that's the thing here now, Rick, is that you got to get through this year. I mean, all those kids are really good recruits, and the class is great, but they're not going to be here this fall. So
That's right.
You got to worry about them next year. You got to make sure they stay committed. And the way you do that is have a decent season, get some wins, get that momentum going, and they'll be more excited to get here. And a lot of them will probably try to get here in the winter semester so they can get a jump start on spring and all that sort of stuff. So, the key is to get this year in, out, have a good season, show progress, try to get to a bowl, win as many as you can, And man, next year with that class coming in, that's going to be some really good competition, and there'll be more roster turnover like it always is. But
Of course.
yeah, but it should be. The future is definitely bright. That's no question about that.
I wanted to ask you, and I guess I haven't done it as much as I wanted to, but I'm really high on Ethan Grunkemeyer. And you saw him a lot more than I did, obviously. You saw him basically every day. How do you feel about him coming in after the success he had in the Big Ten? I mean, he's already showed us what he's capable of doing. I feel like of all the guys coming in, of course, it's the most important position. It's easy to say that, but I'm really excited about him being here. And I think he could develop into an all ACC quarterback. What did you see out of him you liked, Mike, the best during the spring getting ready for the summer?
I thought he was a really good field general, Rick. He kind of he can read the defense as well. He knows when to step up in the pocket. He knows where his dump down receivers are. He can hit the tight windows. He can make all the throws, the outside cuts and whatnot. He's not afraid to throw the ball over the middle. He's got great chemistry with Luke Reynolds at tight end he brought with him. And the other guys, the other tight ends, like we talked about, they caught 17 passes in the spring game. So, I think that the Brown kid transferred in from Duke's going to be a real asset to him in that slot, because the slot guy is so important. He's so quick. He's such a matchup problem. But I think Ethan's the real deal, and he's not as big as some of the other quarterbacks that you've seen, but he's got a set of wheels. He can get himself out of trouble. And when you got another guy pushing you like Bryce Baker is, and the freshman's very talented, Troy Hune, I think it's even making him better and better every practice, because he's constantly going to have to look over his shoulder and say, hey, that guy made some good throws there today. And
That's
the
right.
one scrimmage he missed, that's when Hune came out and had a great day. He had 4 touchdown passes. So I think he understands his role, but he's a good leader. I think the kids look up to him, and he's one of those guys that can make every throw. He's a key piece to the puzzle, no doubt.
Yeah, and Reynolds made the joke, hey, Brady and Gronk, Blacksburg, hey, Tech fan would take that in a heartbeat, wouldn't they, if those two guys could develop a Tech version of that combination? So why
No
not?
doubt. Yeah.
Why not?
Yep, they sure could.
And, of course, the key to that is the offensive line. I know we've kind of talked about that, and that's still kind of in progress, isn't it? Especially the depth part of the offensive line.
Well, it is, but they got more players now, and they got more bodies to look at. And some of those kids didn't even participate this spring, and some were limited. But I think come fall, that group's going to be really, really good. And they're going to have at least 9 or 10 guys that can play, which is probably better than the 6 or 7 from last year. And they may have more than that. I mean, some of those kids that transferred in will likely become starters, maybe. And so, yeah, that competition is going to be better, and that is a key. But even getting through spring like they did, protecting the quarterbacks, I thought they did a good job as a whole. So they're only going to get better. And having Matt Moore, have that consistency coming back, I think certainly helped too.
Mike Burnett joining us on the program. Thanks to Louise Baker, Louise Baker Team Long and Foster, 540-320-0382 for Louise. Well, it's all vibing in a good direction. He's going to get his office renovated, I saw, for almost $200,000. But it's one of those things, again, he wants to bring families and recruits in there and their agents and have a place that, is like he's talked about all along. Mike, he's talked about it with you a lot, you and Bill, right? I mean, you got to look the part to a certain degree, right? If you're gonna walk the walk, you got to look it, and that's what he continues to try to improve.
Yeah, it has to look, smell, and feel like big time football.
Right.
And that's what he's doing. They're ripping that Merriman Center apart, changing all kinds of stuff around. They want to try to get it done by August, because that's when it gets hectic and crazy, and they'll be over there daggone near 24/7. So they want to get it done so they won't have those workers around. But it's a work in progress, and needs to be better. It's been there since Dooley was there. Coach Dooley was there. So a lot of change happening. It's all for the good too, Rick.
Right. Exactly. Well, I got to get your take. Of all the people that finally did the right thing, it was the kid who's been in the eye of the storm. Brendan Sorsby last night finally said, I'm done. This is not going to be something I'm going to pursue any longer. He will go to the supplemental draft. He won't get taken, but I think his football career is over unless he plays in some other league. But your thoughts on how all that went down, Mike? It kind of broke last week when I left for the honeymoon. I wanted to talk to you about it. It's just, I think Texas Tech, their brass looks pretty bad in all this. The guy has admitted everything he's done at every stop, yet they were going to the ends of the earth to defend him. And I wanted to get your take on how you saw that whole Sorsby thing finally come to an end late last night.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be a no win for Texas Tech. There's no way that was ever going to work out. And the dude that cleared him, the judge, I mean, come on, what is that guy thinking?
What are we
I mean,
doing?
that is the biggest joke of jokes that they think that you could bet on your team and get away with it. So I'm happy that it worked out that way. I mean, I think the outpouring of criticism to the league and to Texas Tech was all justified, and there was no way it was going to work. I mean, you talk about a lot of times you hear back in the day that a team would have a bounty on a kid's head, a quarterback.
Oh,
Can you imagine like these other teams playing in the Big 12? Like, okay, dude, you're going to pay the price here today. We're going to come after you. I don't care if we win or lose. We're coming after you. And so it was just a no-win thing. And Texas Tech, they had to part ways. There was no way that was going to happen. And they spent a lot of money on him, and it's crazy how that worked out. But that should have never gotten to that point. Betting on games, $90,000 on all the bets and on your own team. It's nuts. I mean, you can't, that's rule number one you can't do. And to think that he could get suspended for 2 games, I mean, it was a joke. Biggest joke of all time.
And I think they have a lot to answer to. That people need to ask some tough questions about why this was something you so eagerly accepted in your program. I can't imagine many other schools doing that. You could say, look, we want the kid to get better. We understand he's got a problem. This could be something that affects his livelihood, his life. He might not even, guys, they get really depressed when they lose a lot of money. Things happen, Instead of that, it was, no, he's going to play here. You can't tell us what to do. It was bizarre the way the whole thing was handled.
Yeah. And it's a black eye on Texas Tech. I mean, that should never have gotten to that point. And the judge, again, whoever ruled in his favor, I mean, how impartial, like, come on, man, you cannot think that that's okay and real and forgivable. I mean, you just can't do that. I'll never forget when Alan Tisdale, remember Tizzy played for us, the linebacker at Virginia Tech, and he admitted that he bet on I think it was the NBA, the NBA finals or something he bet on.
Right.
And got suspended for like 9 games, and they cut it to 6, I think. But I mean, that just kind of ruined his whole year and season. I mean, and here this dude's betting $90,000 and betting on his own team, and come on, it wasn't even close. But you just can't do that. It's rule number 1. And all this betting and gambling that's going on, it's hard to tell how many other guys are doing the same thing on a smaller scale, maybe. But
I know.
It's stupid how that thing all worked out.
It was. And the fact, I think it blindsided them when the Big 12 brought the lawsuit against their own school. Look, we're not going to let this happen, guys. You can make a decision now. So it's funny. Ross Dellinger has a great article, how quickly it came together yesterday once the lawsuit was released. Okay. How quickly it got changed around.
Oh, I know. And it's just such a black eye. I mean, and all those other teams saying, hey, we're not going to play you. We're not going to schedule you. We're done with you. All that whole thing. And the guy that gave all the money. I mean, I understand that they're probably upset about that, but they should have done their homework. I mean, if they knew the guy had that issue and problem and was hanging over their head, why take a chance on him? Because, for once, maybe somebody would do the right thing. Maybe not the NCAA, because they never seem to get involved, but somebody should have corralled that thing a long time ago, and it should never got to this point.
Well, and look, somebody brought it up again here in chat. They've talked to me. Remember a couple of years ago, and how Mike Young reacted when they got the kid out of Temple and they realized what he was involved in, and he immediately said, "No, this is not happening. Then we're done." And look how quickly he went in and ended it. Right?
Yeah.
And
you can't do it.
But yet here you had a whole institution going, yeah, it's fine. It's really
fine.
You're
the quarterback. We're paying you millions of dollars. Come on, you can do this. We can get you cleared. Yeah, it'll work out. Couple games suspension against these non-conference team. Hey, no big deal.
And
you'll be ready when the chips are down.
Yeah. And to your point, I hadn't thought about that. He would have been every locker room would have had their own betting bounties on who hurt that kid the word. I didn't think about that, but you're exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. They'd go after him big time. Just, I mean, it's like a mockery of the game that you can sit there
It
and do
is.
that and get away with it.
It is.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I don't blame these other schools for saying, why would we want to, if Texas Tech is going to react this way, why would we want to try to do anything with them? I understand why other schools were going to take some action, and all other sports. At that point, you have to assume it's okay for them in every sport, right?
oh yeah. Yeah. Just go find a judge that'll help you out and get you over the hump, right? That's why the
Yeah.
NCAA's got to just get a grip on this thing, or Congress or somebody. Just like, let's get the rules back to where they should be. Put the guardrails up, and you cannot do this, this, and this. And if you do, these are the punishments, and you won't have these issues. I mean, it's just out of whack so bad.
Well, that's the thing that's discouraging to me, is that this should have been the easiest slam dunk ever. The NCAA made the right initial ruling, yet you still had one judge, like you said. Now, it didn't hold up, but I don't know if we're ever going to have a power structure, not from the NCAA. I don't know if this thing's ever going to come back to any kind of organizational discipline from anybody. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it coming out of anywhere, Mike, at this point.
Yeah. I think eventually they'll get it under control, because the way the whole thing is now, it's not sustainable. So I think at some point here, whenever that is, they need to get it right. And I think they will. I mean, there's too much money involved, too many people involved, too many smart people involved. You don't want to destroy the game, destroy the Olympic sports. And there's just too much good out there. I mean, just look at the ratings for like women's softball and baseball and the NCAA tournaments. I mean, it's just too good to screw it up. And, you can't do it. Hopefully they'll get it fixed.
Yeah, I hope you're right. And you're right. It's too much. The money, maybe the money somehow ends up being the reason they get it fixed, right? Because there's too much of it right now being spent through. But maybe the fact that the money is the TV contracts and Super League potential, maybe that'll bring some common sense back into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Common sense has been lost in this whole thing. That's for sure.
Yeah, it has. It has.
Those guys are making big bucks to make screwed up decisions.
I know. Hey, what'd you think of the Knicks? I know you were watching the final. I haven't been a big fan of the NBA in a lot of years, but I liked the way they played, Mike. They're a throwback a little bit there. I like the Knicks.
Yeah.
I like the way they played the game.
Yeah, they do. They play hard. I mean, they deserve to win. I mean, San Antonio couldn't close them out. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. That obviously this should have been 2-2 going back to San Antonio, and they had to lead for most of that game. What did they have the lead? Somebody said 75% of the time for the whole series.
Whole series.
And couldn't close it out. I mean, like, that's pretty bad. But you know what? Those kids, their two best players, women, Yamin and whatever. Those guys are 22 years old. They're going to learn a lot from this experience, and they'll be right back in there in the near future, maybe next year for sure. And they'll take a lot from this. But yeah, you got to be tougher and more mentally tough, and can't let stuff like that happen. Lose that big lead like they did. I really thought that last game would be a blowout, but San Antonio came out and played well like they had. Just couldn't hang on at the end. I mean, you could just feel it. You could sense it. I mean, the players, that happens a lot. You say, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
That happens in basketball. You can see it a lot. These teams that lose late games and can't seem to close teams out. I mean, it constantly happens, and that doubt kind of creeps into your mind. It's like, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think that's what happened. Coaching really showed up as well. The Knicks coach circles around the San Antonio staff. I thought they did a great job of adjusting, coming back like they did and doing things. So
yeah, Pop was probably rolling over in his grave there.
He probably was. He probably was.
Oh man, come on, guys, you can't do that.
That's right. That's right.
Bring back Duncan and Ginobili.
Where are all my guys? That's
Avery Johnson. Come on, where are you?
Where are you? Where are you?
I tell you what, I got sick of seeing though was all the. It's like ESPN. Every time you turn around, oh, there's Ben Stiller. There's there's Spike Lee. He deserves a ring. I mean, come on, get away from all the stardom crap and just show the basketball.
Yeah, especially nowadays when nobody cares about anybody from Hollywood. We don't care. They're just they're all horrible people.
Yeah. I don't care who's on the front row.
I don't, exactly. Are you going to squeeze in any Florida time before your July excursion with Coach Franklin?
Yeah, I'm going down for the week of the 4th of July. So as soon as I get back, we'll get back on the trail there. And then I got several more places to go, Emporia and Fredericksburg, and I got a lot more left. But yeah, the last big one with Coach Franklin will be July 13th. So yeah, I'm gonna squeeze in another trip. That'd be my big one.
All right. Well, I know it's always great down there, and you'll have plenty of gator bites because you're buying the things. You'll fix them yourself. So there you go.
Just worried how much that smoked tuna dip's gonna cost this year.
Yeah, it's gone up probably since the last time you were there in the spring. No doubt.
Oh my gosh, no doubt.
Thanks to always to Louise Baker, Team Long and Foster for Mike Burb's appearance. She got mad at me that I didn't send her wedding picture, so I had to make up for that. So
Oh, you better.
Yeah,
Louise is the best. She's gonna take care of that.
I know she did. She reminded me.
The wrath of Louise on Rick for the pictures.
No, you don't. Nobody wants that.
She's the best.
She is. All right, man. So are you. Have a great week, and we will resume again next Tuesday.
All right, sounds good, Rick. Congratulations again. Glad everything went well.
Yeah, it went well. It's a great place.
Happy
Great
for
stop. Thanks, man. Great. Yeah, it'll be good. First time doesn't work. Second time, let's get it right. So let's see what happens. So.
And there is no third. No mic drop.
No. There's not. No. Number 2 or bust, baby. Here we are.
There you go.
Here we are.
Good stuff.
All right, brother. Yeah. Take care, Mike. Have a good week.
All right, see you, Rick.
Mike Bird up here. Thanks to Louise Baker, Team Long and Foster. Yeah, there won't be any third act. Yeah, but then I said that about the second, but I do mean that for the third. You meet the right girl, though, it changes. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And it's good to be back for you. When you get back, though, from all that stuff, you got so much to do. Like yesterday, we had to go get a lot of legal stuff done with their name. It was spending all day. We got family coming in today. It's like you still got a couple days of the whole post thing, which is fine. I took the time off from work at Radford through Wednesday, but there's just a lot. A lot. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel wherever you might be. We are getting, by the way, everybody knows all my socials got destroyed and we had to go through and recreate the Big Dog page. Please find it on Facebook, Big Dog Sports Talk. I am sending out invitations to people. It is me. Everything's legitimate. If you get any social media invitations from me, it's legitimate, either through Facebook, the Big Dog page, or Instagram. I'm trying to regain my audience after what happened, the whole hacking, and now I've got extra protection, but I lost, over 3,000 followers on the Facebook page. So, if you get gator bites, Morris says, like we did in Ormond Beach at the Hall, and they are tender. Now that's eating good. Yeah, I didn't update you, Morris. You had asked me, and sure enough, I don't know what the name of that place was. It was so good. The Fish House, the Fish Hub. It's beautiful, fun place. It had indoor, outdoor. You could sit inside, but the thing was open. Everybody was so nice. It was just a great atmosphere. That was the last night we were there. And they had gator bites. And so I was like, all right, here we go. We're going to just do it. And I go in, and they said that they ran out about an hour before we got there. And we got there fairly early. We got there like at 6. So I didn't get to have any. Still waiting. What's up, Glenn? What do I think of the WNBA? I don't think of the WNBA. They have squandered the best opportunity they ever had to be relevant with the whole handling of Caitlin Clark. It's become just an absolute despicable political foray into idiocy. A league that loses over $40 million annually had almost a holdout from players who wanted more money, yet somehow the NBA supported it and they got it. I don't think of the WNBA. I think it's a league that needs better leadership. I think the NBA keeps it around for reasons that it has to. It can't stop supporting it. If it lost the support of the NBA, the league would fold within a year. Crowds are not going to the games. Caitlin Clark's not even getting the kind of crowd she used to. They had the one diamond in the rough that they could have marketed the whole league around, like the NBA did when it fixed itself with Bird and Magic. David Stern, young commissioner, understood the league was coming from Larry O'Brien. The league was in a lot of financial trouble. There were a lot of teams threatening to move. TV contracts were expiring. And here comes Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and the rest is history. The WNBA was never going to be that, but they had Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-lifetime, generational, countrywide, worldwide recognized female basketball player, and they completely pissed it away. But the way that they allowed the rules, the players beat the hell out of her. They bring race into the whole thing. It becomes political. They don't market her. Her own coach decides not to play her. The league has, I think, forever stained itself. And they, until they decide to revamp it and get better leadership, fish rots from the head, Glenn. And the WNBA is just nothingness to me. I'm not going to waste any time with it. The NBA barely wastes any time with it. I think it's a daily embarrassment that they go out and continue to mishandle her the way that they have. That's my, my opinion. That's my opinion. But welcome. Thanks for stopping by, Glenn. Subscribe, like, and share. You're always welcome, man. Where's Vic been, by the way? Vic was always our headline guy. I thought he'd have the Sorsby thing up today. Did we lose Vic? Maybe he's on vacation. But yeah, we got family coming in today, a lot of her family. So we got a big day ahead here as people who couldn't be here during the wedding. Yeah. Yeah, teammates don't back her up. It's weird. It's like this whole campaign to align against the one player that could have made the league relevant. I've never seen anything like it. The willing just I don't understand. I'll never understand. I'll never understand. So, yeah, we still got a lot going on post get back, but this is always good therapy. Thank you, everybody. You're awesome. Those of you in chat, those of you on the text line, all of our great sponsors that we've talked about, all of our great guests today with Marva, with Brian Siegel, and with Mike Burnup tomorrow. It'll be the Hump Day Wednesday edition. I know Keon will be here. We'll have Damian Sordelette. I hope we're going to have Teal. Maybe some other things lined up tomorrow. We shall see. But I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Tuesday. Again, thank you so much for all the well wishes. Please let people know about the channel. We will have clips of the show on the channel. Congratulations, Glenn. There you go. On your talk, you're a New York guy. Hey, been bragging about your Knicks, man. I hadn't been watching a lot of NBA in recent years, but I like the way they played. 53 years, a long time, my friend. You've earned it. You've earned it. Congratulations. They were the best team, and Jalen Brunson's become maybe my favorite player in the league. Just watching the way he goes about his business, man. That's a real dude right there. That's a real dude. So congrats. Congrats. Take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Don't miss us, 6 to 8:30 every morning. We'll see you then.